Have you been caught up in the post-truth age, where emotion outweighs evidence, and feelings replace facts? When you hear someone say, "The Bible was written hundreds of years after the events," that's a post-truth assumption without checking facts. It feels right because it fits modern skepticism, but the facts say otherwise. A friend told me, "I don't believe the Bible anymore, it's not true." She assumed it was written hundreds of years after the events described, but is that really true or just what people think today? What evidence is there that the Bible is true? Does archaeology confirm biblical accounts? And for accuracy, you couldn't get greater evidence than fulfilled prophecy. This, of course, is one of the strongest proofs of divine authorship. Checking historical accuracy and early manuscripts, the Bible is the most historically preserved document in antiquity. The New Testament alone is supported by over 5,800 Greek manuscripts, some dated within 30 to 100 years of the original writings, unparalleled by any other ancient text. Compare that to Plato's writings. There are only 7 copies, the earliest being 1,200 years after he lived. The New Testament is vastly closer to the original events, historically reliable beyond any reasonable doubt. The Gospels were written by eyewitnesses or direct associates, Matthew, John, Peter, Mark, Luke, and circulated while other eyewitnesses were still alive. That means their claims could have been easily refuted at the time, but they were not. In Isaiah chapters 44 to 45, written around 700 BC, the prophet Isaiah actually named a king called Cyrus who would be born, who would free the Jews and rebuild Jerusalem. The fall of Babylon predicted by Isaiah and Jeremiah. Babylon was conquered exactly as described. Over 300 Old Testament prophecies were fulfilled with Jesus Christ's life. As to when and where was his birth in Bethlehem, his death and resurrection, Micah chapter 5 verse 2, crucified with criminals, Isaiah chapter 53 verse 12, pierced hands and feet, Psalm chapter 22, and rising again, Psalm chapter 16 verse 10. Archaeology has repeatedly validated the Bible's historical accuracy. The ancient nation of Hittites, once thought to be a mythical people mentioned only in the Old Testament, until archaeologists discovered the Hittite capital, in modern-day Turkey, the Pool of Bethesda, John chapter 5 verse 2, skeptics said it was fictional. In the 19th century, archaeologists uncovered it exactly as John described, in Jerusalem. The House of David inscription, Northern Israel. In 1993, a stone fragment dating to the 9th century BC refers explicitly to the House of David, confirming David as a historical figure, not a legend. Pontius Pilate inscription discovered in 1961 at Caesarea Maritima, bearing the name of Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea, verifying the Roman governor who ordered Jesus' crucifixion. The Dead Sea Scrolls discovered between 1947 to 1956. These ancient manuscripts, dating to 250 BC to 100 AD, include entire books of the Old Testament, showing that the scriptures we have today are virtually identical to those written over 2,000 years ago. They match the words of our modern Bible, letter for letter. The text hadn't changed. The truth hadn't changed. So when someone says, "The Bible isn't true," what they often mean is, "It doesn't fit how I feel about it anymore." But truth isn't a feeling. Truth isn't an opinion. Truth doesn't evolve. Truth just is, and no matter how the world changes, the truth will always stand. Don't get trapped with post-truth propaganda. Stand on the truth that never moves.